Everyone here knew three things. They knew that their children would have a better education than they had. They knew their children would have better jobs than they had. They knew their children would have a better life than they had. Everyone driving home today knows three things. They know that their children will not have the job opportunities they had. They know that their children are going to live in an economy that's going to be struggling with a debt burden that their parents never had to experience. They know that their children are going to be the first generation not to outlive their parents. The students graduating from our high schools are going to learn three things as they graduate. They're going to learn that the cost of living on Guam has continued to skyrocket. They're going to learn that because of our stagnant economy, that job opportunities are going to be hard to find. They're going to learn that, like their cousins in Hawaii, they may have to leave the island in order to have the same quality of life that their parents had. How did we come to this? How did we get here? Welcome to my first editorial, in my humble opinion. In my humble opinion, this has been a long road, and now that we're at a crossroads, this election, we have a chance to change the future of Guam for the better. Or we can continue doing the same thing we're doing and follow Puerto Rico right off the financial cliff. I say that because at this point in time, August 19, we have a known budget deficit of about $140 million over 3 years that's going to have to be paid somehow. We have growing debt levels. At the beginning of the 33rd legislature, the per person debt for the people of Guam was $9,051. Today, it is $12,451, an increase of 38%. And I wish I could say that's as bad as it got, but right now we're facing a stagnating economy, crumbling infrastructure that needs repair. You only have to drive down the roads of Guam and see that. We have periodic power outages. We have periodic water outages. So we know that our infrastructure needs a lot of work, and that's going to take a lot of money and a lot of political will. We have a number of operating arms of government in Guam operating under federal consent decrees. We have solid waste, Guam Water, Guam Power, DOC, Department of Education. And if we don't get the political will somewhere to fix these things, we could follow Puerto Rico and have our own receiver supervising all the finances of government in Guam. Our healthcare system is in trouble, and I'm concerned that it took until May of this year for the governor and Senator Rodriguez's health committee to begin to address the problems facing our healthcare system. So, 2 years ago, our senators gave themselves a massive pay raise. By the end of the 33rd legislature, they will have earned $318,750 apiece. And what did we get? Well, as I said earlier, we have an operational deficit of $140 million. We just recently passed Bill 340, which borrowed $45 million to pay for the supplies and the invoices for Guam Memorial Hospital. And in the words of the senators and government of Guam and Guam Memorial staff, the bill solved nothing. Everybody expects Guam Memorial to be back at the legislature next year or the year after for another bailout. Currently, the governor's office and Senator Rodriguez are pushing for a $140 million bond to revamp Guam Memorial Hospital. So if we have a population that can't afford the minimal services Guam Memorial is providing now, where are they going to get the money to pay for the enhanced services that Dennis Rodriguez and the governor are hoping to build into the new Guam Memorial Hospital? This is a problem that needs a lot more thought before we go and ramp up the debt to the taxpayers of Guam. And just recently, it's come to light that in Bill 363, the governor's office, with the help of Senator Rodriguez, is trying to resurrect the Guam Resource Recovery Partner Contract, which requires government of Guam to back a $350 million bond offering to build a waste energy project that the island can't afford and doesn't need. And one other danger to the financial stability of the island is Bill 225, the Simon Sanchez Rebuild/Renovation Contract. The Speaker admits there is no cap on this contract. There is no limit to how much money can be spent on renovating the schools of Guam, and the taxpayers will be left holding the bag. This is something that we need to take a very close look at and fix before any contracts are approved under this bill. And there's also, because if these things are allowed to come to pass, we could see by the end of the 33rd legislature the per person debt go up by 50% in just 2 years. We could be over $16,000 in just 2 years. Now let's put this in perspective. At the time Puerto Rico declared a financial emergency, their per person debt was $10,656. At the time the president signed the bill bailing them out and appointing a federal financial manager for the government's finances, they were at $15,000 and change. If all these bills are approved, government of Guam could be over $16,000 in debt per person, $1,000 higher than Puerto Rico. And that's why your vote is so important this year, because your vote is going to help steer Guam through this crossroads. If we continue going the way we're going right now, we could follow Puerto Rico right over the financial cliff. As taxpayers and voters, is we need to vote smart. And the way we vote smart is, to begin with, we only vote for 10 candidates from each party. Right now, there's a lot of senators telling their supporters to only vote for me. When you only vote for one senator, you are giving him 15 votes. Well, our goal here is to minimize the number of incumbents. So by only voting for 10 people and minimizing the number of incumbents, we create opportunities for new faces to get into the legislature. New people who are less beholden to special interests than the current crop of senators. So towards that end, I'm offering you my recommendations on how we can take back control of our legislature, starting with eliminating as many incumbents as possible. I'm talking about senators that have proven themselves more concerned about their personal welfare and the welfare of their special interest supporters than they are about your welfare and my welfare. So to begin with, in all my previous op-ed pieces, I was talking about the Gang of Six. I've expanded that to the Gang of Eight. The reason why I've included Speaker Juan Pat is because she was the one that started the ball rolling on the pay raises when she received the bill from Lieutenant Acting Governor Tenorio and called a special session without following all the guidelines. She couldn't have done that without the help of Roy Respicio, who was the head of the Rules Committee, which basically controls the flow of bills on and off the floor. So eliminating these two right off the bat sends a powerful message to existing and future senators that they don't listen to the public at their own peril. But these two couldn't have done it alone. They had help. And they had help from Tommy Morrison, Brant McCready, Tina Munoz Barnes, Tony Atta, Dennis Rodriguez, and Frank Bloss. In fact, there are a number of bills that were more for special interest support than they were for public support. And this group of senators was behind almost every single one of them And that is why in this primary election, it is very important that we do not return these people to the legislature. So everywhere I go, people are coming up to me asking my recommendations on who to vote for. So with that thought in mind, let's start with the Democratic Party. Here's my Democrat recommendations. In order they appear on the ballot: Talina Nelson, Narissa Underwood at number 3, who's an incumbent, Regine Biscoe-Lee, who is number 4 on the ballot, Thomas C. Atta, who's also an incumbent and number 5 on the ballot, Frank Bloss Uggan Jr., also an incumbent and number 9 on the ballot, Fred Bordallo Jr., number 11 on the ballot, Jermaine Alerta, number 13 on the ballot, and Benjamin Cruz, B.J. Cruz is popularly known, also an incumbent, number 14 on the ballot, Mike Sinicolas, number 15 on the ballot, and Therese Terlahi, number 17 on the ballot on the Democrat side of the ticket. Now, here's my recommendations for those of you who are going to vote Republican in the primary election. First of all, if you're going to vote Republican, do not vote for Madeleine Bordallo. If you want to, do not vote for her in the primary, because if you vote for her in the primary, you're going to invalidate your ballot and it won't count. If you want to vote for Madeleine, but you're voting in the Republican primary, vote for her in the general. Don't vote for her in the primary. With that thought in mind, let's begin the Republican side. Barry Mead at number 2. James Espaldon, an incumbent, at number 3. Amanda Bloss, new face, at number 5. Mary Camacho Torres, an incumbent, at number 6. Benito Santos Servino at number 9. Albert John Balahaja at number 11. Eric Montaño Palacios at number 13. Fernando Barcenas Estevez at number 14. Luisa Borja Muña at number 15. And hold on. Ellery Paz at number 16. Now these are my recommendations to vote only in the primary. When it comes to the general election, I will have more recommendations, more specific recommendations on who I believe should be elected into the legislature that will be more concerned about our welfare than they are of their welfare and the welfare of special interest groups. So, to help take control of this legislature, like this video, share this video with your friends, families, and coworkers, but most importantly, get out there and vote. For more information, you can go to our website, guamc4pa.org. That's the Citizens for Public Accountability. Or you can look at our recommendations on Facebook at Facebook.com/GuamC4PA. Again, like this video, share this video, and vote. Thank you.